of America. God bless you all.
I am coming to you from downtown Cyprus. This is going to be my second video update. And I'm going to walk under this structure in the center of Nicosia. This is new, so I've never actually been down here. So this is the first time for me to see this. But let's talk about some of the news. And God, we have a lot of news to discuss. Since the morning update, a lot has happened. I got a notification from a news site that said Russia had, the Ministry of Defense announced that Russia just last night alone hit 811 targets in Ukraine. Something like that, just like a crazy, ridiculous number, like 811 targets. Just massive number. I was kind of like, wow. I mean, usually they were hitting like 300, or they were running like 300 sorties a night. And they were hitting targets along those numbers. And this was like 811 targets that they took out, or sorties that they ran. I mean, to be honest, I was looking at the number and I was just kind of like, geez, they've really ramped things up in a big way. But yeah, so I got that notification. It shows that Russia is ramping things up since they hit the Russian Federation. The Ukrainians hit the Russian Federation, and Russia sent those warnings out to Ukraine, and then we had the incident with the Moskva, and more weapons being sent. There's just all kinds of escalation. It looks like Russia is also escalating things, but I think it was to be expected that this was going to happen. Now that we're getting into the big battle in Donbass. Not that this battle hasn't been happening already. I mean, you know, there's been fighting in the east of Ukraine for a while now, but now it looks like it's reaching its pinnacle, its peak. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to sit down somewhere, so I'm gonna walk around a bit and find a place to sit somewhere here. It's kind of a futuristic setup. It's like a space land here. It's like a spaceship in Nicosia. I'll sit right here. So yeah, we had that, and then I got another notification and the news topic that I thought was interesting. It has to do with Medvedchuk's wife, and like I said, she's a famous actress, and a couple days ago she called on Erdogan to negotiate the release of Medvedchuk, who's being held by Zelensky. And now she is calling on Boris Johnson to swap prisoners, Medvedchuk for that guy Aiden Iceland, who I did a story on yesterday. He's the British. He's being charged as a mercenary. I mean, he's being held as a mercenary, so he's in big trouble. But yeah, the Donbass has him. The Donbass militia has him, and she's calling on Medvedchuk's wife is calling on a prisoner swap, Medvedchuk for him, and she's calling on Boris Johnson to make it happen. I think it's interesting that she's, you know, at first she went to Erdogan, now she's going to Boris. Is there any doubt that this is a war between NATO and Russia? I mean, Zelensky is just like playing a part. With each passing day that goes on, it's obvious that everyone involved in this conflict, everyone from, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to move to that other bench by the shade. It's obvious that Zelensky is just like a bit player. His role is to just speak in front of Parliament. Oh, that's much better. Speak in front of Parliament around the world, talk to CNN 10 times a day, and ask for weapons. Like, that's his role. The rest of it is being managed by NATO. She's going to Boris Johnson, of course. She should call on Biden as well. Why not? I mean, you might as well go to the people that are making decisions in order to release your husband. So yeah, this is, I'm just curious, when do you guys think they're going to just admit it? Like, not only Russia, I'm saying Russia and the collective West, just admit that, look, this is NATO v. Russia. I mean, I know they have to keep, for diplomatic reasons, for escalatory reasons, World War III reasons, for all types of reasons, they have to pretend that this is Russia v. Ukraine. But you know, it's clear as day what's going on. The Times had an article in the UK, and let me pull it up. One sec. And they're basically saying that, yeah, the British SAS is training Ukrainian troops in Ukraine. I mean, not even the British mainstream media is denying it anymore. I've got the article right here. British SAS troops have trained Ukraine forces. It says for the first time since the Russian offensive began. This is what the Times is saying. This is what Ukrainian commanders told the Times. Instructors from the UK were previously withdrawn from the country in February when NATO member states were expecting a Russian offensive. The British now returned to teach local soldiers how to use MLRS's UK-supplied shoulder-fired anti-tank missile launchers, the paper wrote, citing Captain Yuri Mironenko and two other Ukrainian commanders, identified only by their nicknames. The units received training. The units that received the training are stationed around Kiev, the Times claimed. Quote, "We have received huge military help from Britain," Mironenko told the paper. But the people who knew how to use the NLAWSs, the NLAWs, were in other places. So we had to go on YouTube to teach ourselves, he said, adding that the British officers were in their unit 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. The UK Defence Ministry refused to confirm whether British commandos had visited Ukraine. The fact that they refused to confirm it means, you know, they did it, right? So, once again, is there any doubt what's going on? Who this war is between? The Deputy Secretary of Defense, I believe, the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Kathleen Hicks, is saying that the U.S. is preparing or trying to figure out a way to provide Ukraine with MLRS rockets, multiple launch rocket systems, MLRSs. That the U.S. is trying to find a way to get these, not only get these to Ukraine, but to figure out a way so that Ukraine could use these weapons in order to hit Russian airports, like Russian airports in Russian territory. And this is coming from, this was actually posted by someone on Locals and on our Locals community, and it's coming from the Russian media. And one of our community members, actually, I believe he or she translated it, and they posted it on our Locals community. And this is what the Russians are reading, and this is what the Russians are coming away with. NATO wants to hit Russia. That's what they're coming away with. This is what Kathleen Hicks said on Tuesday. The U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense, quote, "We will continue to look at the types of weapons the Ukrainians want in terms of giving them a little more range and distance." This is what Hicks said when asked if Washington was ready to explore a transfer of weapons to Kiev that would allow it to strike military airports, would allow it to strike military airports in Russia. "Until new deliveries are announced, I would not want to anticipate the president's decisions. However, we are moving very fast, and you can see more in the coming days," she said. Jen Psaki confirmed plans to transfer artillery from U.S. warehouses to Kiev. Now, these MLRSs, these multiple launch rocket systems, they have a range of around, like, I guess 80? Is it 80 kilometers? Give or take 30 to 80 kilometers, I think, is their range. And they definitely need the right people. So someone's going to have to train. The ML270 MLRS is what they're looking at. The ML270, the M270. The system was put in operation in the 80s, but thanks to the modernization of the platform itself and the new ammunition, it can be compared in efficiency with the Tochka U. And due to the variety of ammunition, in many places even surpass it. 80 kilometers is its range. That's what I'm reading from this article here. It's incredible. This article says the most interesting question about the possible supply of U.S. MLRSs in Ukraine will be the service staff. It is unlikely that the Ukrainian military in NATO training camps was trained in such a specific technique. It cannot be ruled out that the U.S. military will directly control the work of the MLRS made available to Ukraine. This could lead to a new leap in the global confrontation. Thank you to the locals community member who posted that. I mean, can you imagine if they supply this stuff to Ukraine and then they actually figure out a way to get it to begin striking airports in Russia, if that's even possible? But it just shows when you listen to the deputy assistant Secretary of Defense, the deputy Secretary of Defense, when you listen to her comment, it's clear as day that this is a war. This is an all-out war between NATO and Russia. The fact that it's taking place in Ukraine is kind of just taking place there. You know, and Ukrainians are being used as proxy, but obviously definitely under the supply, the direction, and the command of NATO, and the U.S. government admits as much. It's incredible. It really is incredible. Finland is now close to joining NATO as well. We have news coming out of the Finnish Minister of European Affairs, Tytti Tuppurainen, told Sky News that at this point, I would say it is highly likely that we're going to join NATO, but a decision has not been made yet. And she claimed that a huge minority of Finns wanted their country to sign onto the military alliance. So, NATO expansion, Sweden, Finland looks like it's a done deal when Finland gets in. When they're let in, then you're looking at Sweden next. Stoltenberg continues to set things up in Eastern Europe, and they continue to pour weapons into Ukraine. Yeah, a lot of these weapons might be thought of as useless, and old Soviet stuff coming out of Europe, but there's a lot of people looking at me. Sometimes I lose my thought when people are walking by and they look at me talking to my phone. But yeah, you know, it's they're ramping up. They are ramping up. Will these weapons have an effect in the East? We don't know. I can't say. They will or they won't. The Russians seem very confident that they have everything under control, and their statements continue to be, we're going to achieve all our objectives as planned and on time. That's pretty much all you get from them. That's the statements that you get. Putin did come out with a statement yesterday, and he said that a lot of European countries have still not signed on to the gas for rubles. Some have. Hungary said they're going to do it. Armenia said they're going to do it. Slovakia a couple of weeks ago said they were going to do it, but I haven't heard anything since then. But Putin gave a warning. He said, look, time is running out. You guys better sign up you guys better start depositing your foreign currencies in Gazprom banks so we can exchange them for rubles and then give you your rubles so you can get gas. Because there's a story coming out of Germany, and this is the clown world. This is the clown world segment. There's a story coming out of Germany which is advising people to think twice about having a hot shower. This is what the authorities in Germany are now warning the German public. The head of the Federal Network Agency of Germany, Klaus Müller, said in an interview with NTV, and I quote, "You will have to ask yourselves a question, whether you really need to take a hot shower 7 days a week with gas heating." So everyone in Germany, ask yourself a question. Do you really need to take a hot shower? His words echoed a similar statement earlier by European Commissioner for Competition Margaret Vestager, who advised EU residents to, and I quote, control your own and your teenager showers. And when you turn off the water, say, take that, Putin. Clown world, folks. Clown world. Did you know that Italy's debt is the highest it has ever been? The sovereign debt of Italy has set another record, 2.74 trillion. This is what the country's central bank reported on Friday. It's gone up 2.1% compared to December. 2.74 trillion. Its previous record was 2.735 trillion. It is 150% of the country's GDP. And you're telling me a collapse is not coming to Europe? This war between NATO and Russia is going to completely collapse Europe. And I guess that's what the neocons want, or maybe the neocons just don't care. For them, if they can get regime change in Russia, and if Europe collapses, so be it. So be it. Let's take a walk around and we'll sign off. So yeah, those are the stories that I have for everyone. And God, what are our European Union leaders thinking? What are they thinking? Or are they thinking? I can't believe we're taking, you guys saw the intro segment with Biden shaking hands in the air. I can't believe that we're going to war for Biden and for Zelensky. It just, what to think? A guy that shakes hands in the air and has no idea where he is. And this is these are the people that we're going to go to World War III over. These are the people that Europe is going to implode over, are these people. And we're hearing this is a war between Russia and Ukraine when everything is pointing to Russia and NATO. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is NATO running the show? This is interesting. Is NATO running the show, or is Zelensky running the show? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is the space station in Old Town, Nicosia. There's some people playing music. I hope the YouTube algos don't catch me. Let me walk up here. Let me walk up out of this space station. And when we get to the top, I'll sign off. Duran.locals.com, everybody. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Interesting. Check out Alexandra's channel. Check out the Duran channel. I'll have some videos up later on today as well. Probably they'll go up before this video. But I'll sign out from there. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, how you see things. I hope this wasn't a depressing video. I try not to make them depressing, but I'm just kind of trying to figure out as well what is going on. Why are we doing this? And I'm talking about Europe and the US. Why are we listening to these people? Anyway, all right, everybody. Let me get somewhere where I can sit down, plug in, and get this up. Take care.